Hello, everybody, and welcome into another Flames News and Rumors here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and as always on these videos, joined by Justin Giampietro. Justin, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Calgary, I believe they got some wins recently, so I wouldn't say they're turning it around, but at least they're getting in the win column.
Yeah. Yes, they just are on their first 3-game winning streak of the season, which again, an early season, but a lot of teams have already gotten that that short of a winning streak. But it's a start for the Flames, who still sit towards the bottom of the Pacific Division. I mean, there are some teams that are worse than them, though, which is, I guess it's a step in the right direction for them, but maybe not according to some fans. There are a lot of fans that think the Flames should not be winning right now and just kind of shifting to a rebuild, retool, I guess. I don't know. I would think of more of a rebuild than a retool, and kind of was shut down with that, with the recent comments of their president, saying basically they don't want to rebuild. And of course, fans aren't happy with this. They think they should do this. So what do you think about the latest comments from their head of hockey ops?
Well, to me, the words kind of mean nothing because, I mean, look at where they are right now. They don't really have a choice. Sure, they could turn it around, but I just can't see this team being outside the bottom five with how they started and with where they are now. It's a pretty big hole to get out of. And you already have some pretty good young players on your team. You have a promising prospect pool. And if you get a top 5 pick this year, you don't really need to go really hard at a rebuild, sell everything, and just go full tank mode. I don't necessarily think that's necessary. That's just kind of gonna happen. Like that's kind of out of their control at this point. Again, them turning it around I think it would be bad for them long term. You don't want to finish in that outside that bottom 5, bottom 10 range because that's when draft picks get a little iffy.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good class. I don't think it's necessarily as top heavy as we thought. I think there will be, the difference between, let's say, 3rd overall and 7th overall. There's just not much of a difference in my eyes. So it's scary as a fan to hear that, we want to rebuild. We want to just blow this thing up and, get young talent. But at the end of the day, I don't think that it would matter. I think they will get talent no matter what.
I agree. I mean, the thing is you probably don't want, like last season, they were in what they call the mushy middle. They're right in you didn't make the playoffs. You're right at that middle point, and it looked like that's probably what was going to happen this season as well. But then this bad start, and they're second to last in the league, behind the Nashville Predators are last. So, I mean, it is something that, of course, fans are going to be excited about the fact, maybe they'll have a good chance at Gavin McKenna. And that's a guy that would definitely be a centerpiece of a rebuild. So, I mean, but being last does not guarantee that either. I mean, as the Islanders won the lottery, they weren't last in the league. So, I mean, and they got Matthew Schaefer. So you don't have to be last to get it. You have a better chance of it. But there's so many teams that have not been last and they've gotten the top pick. So that's the case of the lottery, right? So we'll see. We'll see how if they do finish last or they continue on a positive streak and maybe do push their way up the standings. But yeah, it is pretty tough when you're into this big of a hole around the American Thanksgiving benchmark. You're probably going to be around this spot when the end of the season is. All right, well, going off of that is some guys that we've talked about on the show that could get traded. Nazem Kadri has been one of the guys on the top of the list, but with those recent comments, Maloney said they need more Kadris, not less, and that's that kind of throws maybe a wet blanket on the fact of maybe Kadri getting traded. Is that the right decision? Or is this just kind of blowing some smoke? Maybe you're just like, well, so that you're not expecting a trade.
Probably a little bit of both. Nobody's ever going to reveal exactly what they're going to do, but I kind of believe that they won't trade Kadri, or they aren't rushing to trade him, because again, their start to the season with or without Kadri, I just don't think that changes a whole lot. I think he's a great player. He's still capable of being a top six driver of play. That's a very useful player to have, and I think he would demand a lot on the market. There are a lot of teams that need this. You look at Colorado after they lost Kadri, they struggled to win in the playoffs, and with Brock Nelson, they look unstoppable this year. That's a player that every team is going to want, regardless of age. So yeah, I would want to move him to try to get assets. As a fan, that is worrying, hoping that he doesn't, deplete his value, because he is getting up there in age, and with age comes regression. But I would assume something gets done at some point. But I do believe that they're not really necessarily rushing to get it done ASAP.
Yeah, I think the thing is I think more of this talk will be around the trade deadline. Of course, he still has term on his contract, like we've said. It's not something that's going to be really easy to do, but I think that's definitely something that could happen, especially if they continue, being around the bottom of the standings, and you kind of start moving these veterans. But yeah, it just seems like they may not be wanting to do it right now, but we'll see as the season goes on. Another guy, Rasmus Andersson, he's been in the news not for being traded, but the fact that he's playing really well. He's one of the reasons why the Flames are actually on this winning streak. Has a lot of points in the last few games. He was named the first star of the week. So, I mean, has on a 5-game point streak, 2 goals, 10 points. Just coming off a 3-assist game against the Canucks. So, I mean, has his trade value? Maybe this is when you want to trade him. With his performance here.
I'm not convinced that that's how it works. Again, there are scouts that go to every single team's game, right? So they know what these players are. So maybe a point streak won't change that, but he is kind of turning it around. I thought last season he wasn't great, and to have the kind of run that he's had recently, that's objectively good for trade value. I would think that would instill some confidence in people that, hey, this is a guy that we want maybe on our top pair, who knows, or our top 4, and we're willing to give up a lot for him because he's showing that he is capable. And you're not just relying on the distant past. So maybe, but at the same time, I think he's coveted regardless. This is a guy who eats up a ton of minutes. He's been doing it for a pretty long time at this point, and he can produce. He has a good track record, and so if they want to trade him, I think they're going to get a lot of calls. There are not a lot of right-handed top pairing defensemen out there. There just aren't. And so Calgary kind of has the league in the palm of its hand when it comes to that.
I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt him playing well when to get traded and he's playing well. You're the team getting him with some confidence. So it doesn't hinder his trade value. It only help it. But yeah, I do agree. I don't think it's going to be something that's like, oh, you're going to get a 1st-round pick if he's playing well, or you're only going to get a 2nd if he's not. I don't think that's the case. So his value is high regardless. All right, final thing. This is, Mikko Rantanen's got a 1-game suspension. He is not a Flame, but he did get the suspension because of something he did against the Calgary Flames. That might not, 1-game suspension triggered by a bunch of game misconducts in a row, which is a rule, which I actually didn't know about. So this is something that's new to me. But yeah, it's something that if you accumulate enough game misconducts within a certain period of time, you get an automatic 1-game suspension, which is what Rantanen got. It didn't seem like maybe Flames fans liked that he only got a 1 game, because the hit was pretty brutal. What do you think about just the 1 game? He maybe should have gotten a bit more for the hit in general.
I don't know how to feel about it, but I do know that Flames fans are definitely justified. Every team can feel that way. That I mean, I think it was a dirty play, and I agree with the suspension. And you know what? I almost agree that he should have gotten more. But when it's your team, especially, yeah, you want him to get more. Those are the types of plays you just want to get out of the league. It was unnecessary, and physicality is good, but there comes a point where it's dangerous, and it actually doesn't do. It's nothing but dangerous, and it's headhunting, and that's the stuff that we have to get out of the league. And it's a superstar player, so it's maybe that factors into it. I'm not sure how much it does, but I do think that these star players get a little bit more leeway. But yeah, just not a great play. It helped them win the game, I guess, because he was out. I think this was late second period, and he didn't play the rest of the game, so I guess that helped them. But yeah, it's just not a great play.
No, and the thing is he didn't get any subsequent discipline. This was automatic. This was something that was going to happen. The Department of Player Safety did not have to determine this was a suspension. This was something that happened automatically. So I think the unhappiness was the fact that he didn't get any suspension for the hit. It was just that he got the game misconduct, so that's why he got suspended. I think that might have required a bit more, but yeah, those types of hits aren't something that you like seeing. They say physicality is great, but not that type of physicality. So Rantanen misses one game, and then he'll be back again after the Oilers game on Tuesday. But yeah, we'll see how if he rings it in, because that's it could happen again. You have to go more than 41 consecutive games without getting another game misconduct. Is it 2 or more after that? So yeah, it's something that's in the rule book, and he got slapped with it. I just haven't seen it. At least in my memory, I haven't seen it happen. So all right, well, we'll see if the Flames can continue that, maybe make it a 4-game winning streak in the next game. But yeah, the Flames are playing a lot better hockey lately, and fans that like seeing some winning hockey is probably happy about it. Fans that want to see them continue being at the bottom of the league and to force a rebuild, maybe not so happy. But make sure to check out everything at thehockeywriters.com. We got great articles from the Flames writing team. Make sure you're also subscribed to the Substack newsletter and watch all of our other videos on the YouTube channel. But until our next one, we will see you next time.